Good morning, my name is Joe McBryan, and I'd like to invite you to come along with me on a DC-3 for a ride, and I hope you enjoy it. My first memory of a DC-3 was probably coming out of camp and having to go to school. I had to go to Edmonton on it because they needed Pacific Airlines DC-3. See if I can find my plane out here. You know, we stopped everywhere in Alberta, finally got to Edmonton, and I really liked it. I sat up front, and every time they opened the door, I got to look inside. Mike, do you want to get the guys to get rid of those trucks? I had a lot of experience riding around in airplanes, and when I got to the city to go to school, I rode a lot more in airplanes than I ever rode in cars, I know that. Lost flight returning, that's me. I remember very, very vividly my first few flights, quite a few flights, as a pilot in training, and I look at these guys and say, there I was. In 1969, April 10th, they were checking me out on the sked between Whitehorse, Mayo, Dawson, Clinton Creek. Okay, to walk around on the DC-3, there's certain things I'm very particular about. Well, the DC-3 has external locks, like there's 5 control locks, and it has gear lock pins and it has pitot covers, so you really want to make sure you got those on board, because once you get airborne, you can't get out there and take them off. And to fly, you need them off. So there's sort of what we would call a kill item. Make sure your kill items are on board. Fabric controls, you want to look underneath. Make sure we didn't shred them on the last trip with ice or rocks. It's underneath that gets hit. It's like you never skid the back of you always skid the back of your pants, not the front. When you take the rudder lock off, you got to see there's a bounce in there. It didn't break the locks, the cable locks. So you want to make sure this has a nice bounce on the end, a nice bounce here, so your gust lock cables are not broken. You can still fly with it, but you better get it fixed when you get home. So to walk around again, you're looking at the right-hand aileron. It's also fabric. Make sure the ravens haven't picked holes in it. And you're also looking at the trim tab to see how this airplane flies. Now, if you haven't flown this one particular airplane today, you know that the trim tab is neutral, so the airplane's flying fairly straight. The other thing you really want to check on the airplane is you're checking the exhaust, but there's 3 ways this airplane is locked down. It's got a geometric lock here, it's got a hydraulic lock in the pressure, and it's got a mechanical lock on the spades. And the spades are not jammed, so you can pull the pins out. You really want to make sure you pull the pins, especially if you're taking off in conditions like, say, a real foggy morning. You don't have to come back and land and take out your pins. So make sure your pins are visible in your hand. Make sure they're loose. Those are your pins, and then you just walk ahead. You're checking your pitot covers are off, and they're clear. Doors are shut. Engines look dry and in place. You're checking for your boost, your landing light. Just a general walk around, making sure the airplane hasn't been damaged or run into by a mule or a forklift overnight. There's no damage to it. You get together with the airplane. Right now, what you're doing is I'm sort of connecting to the airplane to see if it's how it's looking and how it's acting, and if it'll get along with me. It's like going out on a date. You really got to check out everything before you sit down at the table. So the last thing you really want to check is this airplane's got flat tanks in it, and you want to check the fuel for water. You're checking to see if there's any water in the fuel. You don't want to flip your cigarette in the water now. It used to be a good time to wash your hands, but now they don't want to get lead in their blood. Lead in their pencil's okay, but no lead in their blood, they say. So you're checking for the clarity. It's clear, no water. Okay, it's very important that you check for any water in your fuel, because it doesn't like that. Then make sure they're not leaking. Good. Then the other thing is, you don't want anybody to walk through the prop like that. Somebody could be in inside the airplane, hitting the starter, you're walking through it. Now before you touch that propeller, you stand back here and you can see the ears on your mag switches are down. It means your mags are off. And if you're working around the airplane, we always put the propeller down in this position here. You can't hit it. When it's up in this position, or any position like this, if you're running around with your parka hood on, it's a dark, dirty night, it's really windy and noisy and snowing, you've got your eyes half closed, sooner or later, you're going to do this, run into it. Taking your engine tents off, putting your covers on, plugging it in, back and forth, back and forth. So never leave the propeller like this, always leave it down. But before you even touch this prop, make sure those mags are off, looking in that window. You know, and if it's at night, of course, you always have these new flashlights that look in there, eh? So there's no visible leaks of the airplane. And now we're going to start the airplane up and go somewhere. Take your pins up front. You count your locks, make sure you got 5 locks. If you don't have 5 locks, there's one still on the airplane. Never let anybody put more than 5 on. No carry any spares. 2 pitot covers, 5 locks, 2 pins, pea bottle, ready to go. Starting any radial engine, whether it be on a Beaver, Otter, or DC-3, Beechcraft. Clear on 2. Turn it over. I got to count 12 blades. One thing about flying, you got to be able to count. You need 12 blades. That's 10, 11, 12. You expect this engine to take care of you. It's a pretty far offshore and dark, dirty night, so you really want to take good care of starting it so you don't damage it.